Can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Time to get this bad boy started. Time to kick ass and take you into your Wednesday. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wacky Wednesday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Happy to have you with us. We are presented by Michael Scott Insurance, protecting what matters most. Give him a call if you live in the state of Michigan at 810-985-3211. If you want to sponsor this program, please drop an email to snowmaninthemorning@gmail.com. That's snowmaninthemorning@gmail.com. Or you can follow us online. Official SIT Morning is the ID you need for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. And I'm going to be more active with Instagram, so please bear with me. And we're just in the process of getting everything together as I make some adjustments here. There we go. That's what I needed. Making adjustments with our audio network and our video network. I know I said I'd be on top of it, but the last couple of days I've just been physically worn out. And I can't, as most of you know, I'm battling pancreatic cancer as well as type 2 diabetes. I am not shy in informing you, the fans, what is going on with me. But I plan to be both. I plan to be healthy, like right after I turn 50 this summer. That's the target, to be completely healthy. And while I'm waiting for my partner, I will just go ahead and update you guys. Next week is a big week for me because I have a PET scan coming up, and that could lead... No, I'm going to speak it into existence. That will lead to a pre-surgery consultation, and which will lead to me being scheduled for surgery this month. I'm going to go ahead and say it. This month, I will be scheduled for surgery. I will confirm it as we go along here. Thank you to everyone that has stuck with me. Thank you to everyone that has been with me on this ride. It's been a crazy ride since I got diagnosed last summer. Last summer I got diagnosed. This summer I will have kicked cancer and type 2 straight in the ass. And believe me, the gym is calling my name. Going out walking is calling my name, especially with my my little pup Lucy. And by the time or after I turn 50, and yes, I'm turning 50 this summer. It's incredible. I will be ready to live the second half of my life cancer-free, completely healthy. Well, it's going to take a couple years of work to be completely healthy. And now I have my partner on the line. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm feeling great. I'm ready to kick ass. I'm ready to talk ish about sports. I'm ready to get going.
All right. Well,
I'm ready to cook, as you often tell me. I'm ready to cook today.
let's get started then.
I'm ready to cook every day. We got Clark Munroe at the bottom of this hour to talk some NHL hockey. Those Calgary Flames continue to do what they do, but it's a very dark subject that I'm going to touch with Clark Munroe when he comes on. Scoop Miller at 5 after the second hour to talk college basketball. His top 5 in both men's and women's basketball has not changed. And then a great buddy of mine, Patrick Voss, the golden voice of Chicagoland, will join us as well to talk about his podcast and whether we'll see Major League Baseball or not. We're going to get into that. But let's start with a little NBA. And what has happened to the New York Knicks? They were competitive once upon a time. This season, this season.
I was going to say.
Let me get this. Let me get this in. Also, we're also live on the On Tap Podcast Network, as well as Real Wise Radio and Arena Sportsnet Radio. Oh yeah, the kingdom's coming back, baby. Now, what the hell has happened to the New York Knicks?
Well, I could wax poetic about how the front office has sucked over the last 20 years.
That's obvious.
Yeah, I can also go ham on the fact that Carmelo Anthony somewhat did a LeBron James.
Sucked the life out of the Knicks.
Mm-hmm. I could go on and on about how people are now making the Knicks much like the Chicago Cubs, where people are living off past glory and the fame of the building in which they play.
Hell, I did that. I made fun of the Knicks and the Cubs.
Yeah.
What else is new?
But when it all comes down to it, to me, it is. I mean, and we can actually talk about Isaiah Thomas and his exploits.
If you want to call him,
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
If you want to call him that.
But if I have to put it and target it in one direction and one reason only, that direction would be one Mr. James Dolan.
Yeah. And
he, to me, has single-handedly run the organization almost to the ground. And if it was anywhere other than New York, it would be run to the ground.
And as you often say in our Bronsexual Confessions opening, which will come next, we're going to spend a little bit of time with the Knicks, but I know you got some heat cooking with our next segment. But man, this year they were competitive, and then the negative exploits of Tom Thibodeau is coming into light again. And you know who has sucked the life out of the Knicks? There's a player that was the most improved player last year, and this year he's playing like dog poop. I'm trying not to swear. And that player is Julius Randle.
You know what's so funny about that? And I think sometimes, we've said this often. Sometimes you on ESPN's First Take, sometimes you have to take what Stephen A. Smith says with a grain of salt, and other times you actually do have to sit up and take notice of what he says.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the following I'm going to say is one of those I really do have to sit up and take notice moments.
Yep.
Where he basically, and it's funny that this is criticism coming in the direction of last year's most improved player by the NBA,
mm-hmm.
where it's horrible to know that a player is so heavily dependent on one hand that you can easily defend him. and Stephen A. Smith
it's
always
become too easy.
Yeah, and Stephen A. Smith has basically said that the people, and he's made it almost into a joke, that people have heard it on the court where opposing teams will say about him and Cam Reddish, they're going left.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And here it is, the most improved player from last year, and he shows that he has too much of a dependence on his left hand,
mm-hmm.
and it's not showing the improvement to see that he could be ambidextrous. Now, he doesn't have to shoot both ways, but at least he has to handle the ball both ways from the standpoint of when people know what you like to do,
mm-hmm.
Defenses will come and try to stop you from what you love to do. They would like to, if you have a favorite part of the floor, defenses will come and deny you the spot on the floor. If you have a certain move that you like to make,
mm-hmm.
they will try to force you in any other direction or get the ball out of your hand.
Oh yeah.
It is up to you when the defense makes the adjustment that you make the adjustment on them,
mm-hmm.
and then that is when you grow further and you become a bigger and a more potent force where you actually have a counter for that counter, and you can still do your favorite things.
Oh,
we can endlessly talk about that with Michael Jordan.
Oh, like
We can
Patrick,
easily say
like
that
Patrick
right now.
Ewing
Or-
with his fadeaway.
Yeah.
We're talking strictly Knicks here, like Patrick Ewing with his fadeaway, or Charles Oakley with his. And yes, Charles Oakley had a jump shot in Chicago. Okay.
People think that he was just a thug, but I'm like, no.
Man, they
That-
sleep on
that- that-
they sleep on Oak.
Yeah, that 14, 15 footer.
Mhm.
You give him the time to stroke it. More than not, it will go in.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people miss. They sleep on they sleep on Charles Oakley, and then you got a rookie, Obi Toppin, who's dynamite, and they don't use him properly.
Yeah, and it's so wonderfully put. I mean, because most of us, unless you really closely follow the Knicks or even follow basketball in general, definitely the Knicks, would not have known his name until Saturday.
Exactly, when he won the slam dunk contest.
Yes, that is how little of use he has.
And
that's how little they've used him.
I've scouted Toppin to be in Golden State because he was just that type of big man that they needed. But then they made a better choice in James Wiseman, who is going to be back on the floor very soon. But I feel sorry. I do feel sorry for the Knicks, but then again, I don't, because there are many, many reasons why they've been run into the ground. There are many reasons why this season is a lost season. They trade for Cam Reddish and they don't use him. Big problem. They get Obi Toppin in the draft and they don't use him. They don't use the young guys. They depend on Julius Randle too much. RJ Barrett's out with an injury because they used him too much. And who's going to be the scapegoat for all this? Tom Thibodeau.
All because, and you heard it in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
And I heard a little bit when he was an assistant coach with the Rockets. He grinds his players too hard.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, is it he grinds his players too hard, or is it the players don't want to commit hard enough?
I think it's the latter. I think it's the latter. And Jimmy Butler started all this ish in Chicago. Okay? There's folks who are going to say, well, that started in 2011 when he ran Derrick Rose into the ground. Derrick Rose was playing with injuries. Okay.
Yeah. Before the injury that took him out. Yeah.
Before the injury that not only took out Rose, but the injury that took out Omer Ashik, one of their chief defenders. Because remember, when the Bulls were making a run to the title, that got squalled by referees in the Eastern Conference Finals, and y'all know how I feel about that.
Yeah, 2011.
Yeah, 2011. Before LeBron paid off some referees to swallow their whistle in Game 2 after getting his ass kicked in Game 1. It's like, I'll stop there. No, I gotta stick. I gotta stick to this. I gotta stick to the schedule today. I don't want to. I gotta stick to the schedule today. I can't make this a potluck day like I want to. And you paid me a compliment in saying yesterday's show was one of the most seamless shows we've ever done. Even though we didn't have guests, we got 3 guests today, and I want to continue to be seamless. So with that thought in mind, I'm going to give you the floor. And we're going to have some fun right about now.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the Bronsexual Confessions.
All yours, sir.
Off your knees, son. Now,
shots fired.
That's right. Pay attention. Now, see, I gave you an education Monday when your fan
weren't even supposed to do the Bronsexual confessions
right
on Monday.
Right. I give you education Monday when I exposed your poisonous harem just messing up the rest of the NBA's fandom.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, to review, LeBron is not an all-time great Laker, and he never will be.
Nope.
Will is not an all-time Laker, although I know his jersey's retired. LeBron's number 23 would be retired too, because that's the type of organization the Lakers are.
Mm-hmm.
And Garden is not an all-time Celtic. Yes, I know he won his only chip with them.
Mm-hmm.
Because they all built careers elsewhere. Now, that was Monday.
That was Monday. Yep.
Today.
Uh-oh. You got more?
Yeah. Today, I peruse social media.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Those are brain cells you can't get back.
Yeah. And this will both get you amped and get you smiling all at the same time.
Uh-oh.
There was a Bronsexual, and I know you have no, don't jump up and down. I'm not handing you a joystick, son. I'm trying to teach you something.
Oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
Lord, you just so want the stroke. I mean, come on, man. All right.
The stroke or two stroke? I'm sorry.
Want to? Yeah. Well, yeah, both. You want the stroke and you want two stroke.
Thank you.
One of you in the harem had the audacity, the nerve, the unmitigated gall to put forth. I still can't believe I'm seeing this. Had the unmitigated gall to put forth a video showing a game between the Bulls on the road against the Suns. No, not in Jordan's heyday. No,
Damn.
back when the Suns played in the Phoenix War Memorials Arena, Coliseum. Sorry.
Ah.
So this is probably, I think, Jordan's rookie season.
Ah, Veterans Coliseum.
Veterans Coliseum. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is probably his rookie season, and there's an alley-oop that's thrown to one Larry Nance. And of course, Nance, being one of the greatest dunkers in the history of the NBA.
Yes, sir.
Walked the sky like he would always do, and flushed it two-handed over an outstretched arm of Jordan.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. Now, put a pause on that for a second. I'll come back to it.
All right.
Now, we'll fast forward 8 years to Jordan's prime. 1993, Game 2, the end of Game 2, the 1993 Eastern Conference Finals, where it was one of the greatest baseline moves I think I've ever seen. John Starks drove the hole, he saw Grant, Pippen, and Jordan all waiting for him.
Yep, he sure did.
He jumped by them and got the dunk.
I remember
And Madison Square Garden went absolutely ballistic.
Exploded to life.
Yeah, because that put them up 2-0. But that was the end of that, because the Bulls went and they won the next 4 games in that series.
They basically said, shut up, and smacked them around.
Now, the reason why I bring up that dunk,
all right,
is because this wasn't the only time that Jordan got posterized. Yes, Jordan is human. Yes, Jordan got posterized. Yes, Jordan got posterized more than once. I just gave you 2 examples of this. Here is the comment that will probably make you laugh and angry at the same time, sir.
Oh, dear Lord.
And see, in Bronsexuals, this is the type of crap that I call you on.
Oh, God.
Because the stuff that you put in your the stuff that you put in your mouth is just as bad as the stuff that comes out of it.
Oh, jeez.
And the quote goes, quote, the dunk that Jordan could not block over Nance. This would never happen to LeBron, old or young.
That's some great
quote.
That's rewind that for me, please.
Quote. This would never happen to LeBron, old or young. Close quote. Thoughts, sir?
I'm gonna cuss. Wouldn't happen to LeBron, old or young.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does the name Andre Iguodala mean anything to you, Bronsexuals? And take the member out of your mouth while you're thinking about him. Does the name, I don't know, Jonathan Kuminga mean anything to y'all? Does the name Kobe Bean Bryant mean anything to you?
He could LeBron every which way off defensively.
And cut him off from getting. Does the name Dwight Howard mean anything to y'all? Dwight Howard smacked LeBron around and dunked on him several times in 2009 in the Eastern Conference Finals, which LeBron lost. Does the name Kevin Garnett mean anything to you? LeBron is not a good defender. LeBron is a fabulous athlete, but a horrible defender, a horrible free throw shooter, and doesn't have a consistent jump shot. So not only has it happened to LeBron in his old age, it's happened to LeBron in his young age. Continue, please. Mm-hmm. Did I lie anywhere in my statements? Did I lie anywhere?
No lie told, no lie detected, no lie found. Unlike you, Bronsexuals, when you lie to yourself and say, I'm all man, and you take it up the chute. You fool. You spew this crap and you expect us all to believe that, well, the god of basketball, and I say this in
quotes,
in quotes, the god of basketball would never have this happen to him because he does everything right. But the god that you all claim is in basketball, he ain't the 6-0 in the finals type. No, really, I never understood that. I was blind and deaf until 1991. And that's when I finally saw number 23 win all his chips. And I thought, well, heck, whatever he did before 1991 didn't matter. You see, this is what you all think. This is how you all think. This is how you all theorize. And this is how you all surmise how all of us, we're basketball fans. Unlike my partner, I'm not a Jordan fan. I respect Jordan to the hilt and the utmost. Mm-hmm. But you all group us all together. Jordan fans.
I love Akeem Olajuwon.
Right.
Even though Jordan is my favorite of all time, he's one of my greatest.
Yeah.
And I love me some Akeem Olajuwon from his days at the University of Houston. Mm-hmm. And time is ticking. We got about 8 minutes. Keep going.
Oh no, that's all right. Look, I got to hit it and quit it myself now. oh Lord, I'm so sorry, Bronsexuals. I know I gave you PTSD from that. I'm so sorry.
Oh, we give him PTSD from just these educations alone. I mean, what the hell? Go on, please.
You will be proud of this thread because this Bronsexual got roasted.
Oh boy.
No, not like when you have sex in a tanning bed.
Not that kind of roasted. Okay.
No. I mean, he got the what for, and people brought receipts like Jason Tatum posterizing LeBron in the playoffs.
2018 East Final Game 7.
Yeah, like Tracy McGrady as a Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Basically putting LeBron in the position that Bronsexuals are accustomed to seeing.
Yep.
McGrady's member was in LeBron's face. Stop smiling. Stop smiling.
Please stop smiling.
Oh, Lord. You know, like Giannis Antetokounmpo with the left-handed flush.
Lefty.
You know, I mean,
Like that?
Yeah. I mean, it just went on. I mean, like good Lord, like Brown of the Celtics.
Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown. I couldn't even think his first name. Jaylen Brown. Flush it on LeBron as a Laker.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could go on and on. But this is how it is, Bronsexuals. You clowns hijack conversations every single day. But in this case, you couldn't hijack it because you got shown up, Bronsexuals. This shows that you all did not study. This shows that you all have tunnel vision. And this shows that you have a human pacifier in your mouth every single time you talk.
Oh, so that's why we couldn't understand what they were saying.
Yeah. Your teeth gets whiter because of this pacifier. Now,
Idiots.
No, I don't do pearl necklaces. Now, bottom lining it.
Quit reaching into my head, all right?
Bottom lining all of this. You idiots think that all LeBron can do is spit gold out of his butt, out of his mouth, and off of his sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's why you want to have sex with him. Okay, my bad. But
Well, yeah, that's obvious.
yeah, because you really do believe the crap that just comes out of your mouth and from your head. You believe this. I mean, you believe this.
They believe this like crazy.
Yeah, because I understand. I mean, what was it that one of you said? Oh,
God.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
yeah. 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 You really believe this? That LeBron James is an icon with 100
millions
follower. If I spend any more time with you guys, I would hijack the rest of the show. Somebody put the human pacifier back in your mouth, sucker.
Yeah, literally and figuratively, dumbasses. Gilbert Gottfried, thank you for the following 2 words. You fools.
You fool.
In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty. Good Lord, I'm about to throw up. This has been yet another installment of the Bronsexual Confessions.
100 millions follower.
Oh, man. It is crazy.
I mean, 100 millions follower.
That never gets old to me.
That it really doesn't. It really doesn't. All right. Quick meeting for my partner. I'm going to take a break. And when we come back, Clark Munroe will join me to talk some hockey. Yes, black people talk hockey. You're looking at a fan of the NHL since 1985. So all of you, and this is a direct shot. So all of you who think that I don't know my hockey, suck it. Not you, Bronsexual. Not you. I couldn't help that one. Let me see if I got everything right here. Yep. Producer Clark is up next. when y'all get back. Do me a favor and visit the shop on snowmaninthemorning.com/shop. Get your favorite piece of material and support the hashtag SnowStrong as I continue my fight with cancer, a fight that I intend to win. Back in a moment.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. As a volunteer, you deliver a hot, nutritious meal and a friendly hello to someone just like your mother, grandfather, or next door neighbor. These seniors are inspiring people with incredible stories to share, and they love to see you. The smiles you get back are priceless. Delivering with Meals on Wheels is easy, and you don't have to drive like me for it to be quick. You can volunteer your lunch break once a week or just once a month. With 1 in 6 seniors facing hunger and many more living in isolation, your lunch break can make a real difference. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
What is dedication?
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is Dariana. We call him Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's attention, affection, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I think the advice I would give is you don't need to know all the answers. The craziest thing was believing that your dad knew everything. So as a dad, you felt like you had to know everything. You had to get everything right. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, then, it kind of starts to work itself out. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Everyone knows what kindergarten is, but have you heard of kindergarten and transitional kindergarten? Virtual learning where you use a morning meeting to do so? Well, if you look up Miss Delisha on YouTube with Morning Meeting with Miss Delisha, that is where you find it. Here, children can learn about their names, what their names start with, the letters, circles, everything that we learned in kindergarten growing up, the kids can do now and can do it with Miss Delisha. Just go to youtube.com and search Miss Delisha, and when you do, and you put your child involved in this, do me a favor. Tell them Snowman sent you.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff.
Are you kidding me? Did you not get the memo?
Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Can't wait. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we roll on here on this wacky Wednesday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Clark Munroe on the way. Man, producer Clark is so busy, and I know that my partner's in a quick meeting. But I want to stay with these bronsexuals for a moment, okay? And take the member out of your mouth, because I know that you're thinking, oh my God, he's staying with us. He's paying us more attention. No, I'm not. I peruse social media myself. I perused social media myself. And I have a problem. I have a problem with LeBron being on the top 75. And here's what I mean about that. He shouldn't be there, period. I'm going to catch hell for this, but I don't care. I don't care. I ran out of blanks to give a long time ago, and I'm finally embracing it. LeBron doesn't belong in the top 75, period. And the only reason he's there is because, as my partner says best, he's been a bull in a china shop for years. LeBron has gotten by on his athleticism. Not his skills, but his athleticism. Does he have a jump shot? Sure. Is it consistent? Hell no. He can't hit free throws to save his life. Y'all remember the game in Golden State? Y'all remember that? And he's always looking for someone to blame for his mess ups. I want to say it another way, but I won't. On offense or defense, especially defense. He'll run to cover somebody and then leave somebody wide open in the corner. Seen it too many times. Seen it too many times. Now, the question will be, who would replace LeBron James on the top 75? Well, I got a couple of folks. 3 in particular. You can put Alex English there. He was a problem as a forward. You can put Jack Sikma there, and it's a crime. Jack Sikma is not in the Hall of Fame. And a lot of you people, and a lot of you Bronsexuals will go, wait a minute, you can't put Jack Sikma in front of LeBron James. LeBron James changed lives. No, he doesn't. In my eyes, and a few people share this thought with me, LeBron James has not changed the game. He has not made an impact on the game, a lasting impact. He's not done that. And I am forever proud for saying he's not made a lasting impact, because I keep looking for it and I don't find it. I don't find it. I don't find the moment or moments where we can say, there's our impact from LeBron. I haven't seen it, nor will I see it. I'm sorry. I just don't. And I know I'm going to catch hell for this, but I don't care. I look at players and judge them on their field of choice, not only by their skills, not only by the effect they've had on the league, and LeBron has had an effect on the league. I will not deny that. But I also look at their impact. And to me, LeBron hasn't had an impact, a big one. Like, say, maybe Stephen Curry, who took an anomaly and turned it into a weapon. And then Steve Kerr capitalized on that and took that weapon and turned it into a strategy. Fool. Where's the impact that LeBron James has had on the league? Someone answer that for me, please. Where's the impact? Where is the defining moment or moments? Save 2013 and save 2016. And I got major problems with 2016. Major problems. Where is the impact that LeBron James has had on the league? Where is it? Someone answer that for me? Because I sure as blank haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I have not seen where LeBron put his stamp on the league. Now, has he in other ways? Yes, he has. Has he done it in ways that cause old heads like me to say aloud, yeah, those are the moments. I only have two in mind, and I just mentioned them. Meanwhile, a fella named Michael Jordan had an impact in the league since his rookie year. Because in his rookie year, he helped take the Bulls to the playoffs. Did LeBron do that in his rookie year? No. Magic did it in his rookie year. Hell, he went all the way and won the title and was finals MVP in the process. Where is that impactful set of moments where LeBron put his stamp on the game and on the league? Where is it? Now, I hadn't planned this Snowman's take, but Clark Munroe, unfortunately, will not be joining me. I think he got tied up. And now my partner's back with me, and I pose a question, and the question goes like this. Where is the impact on the floor that LeBron James has put on the league? Because I haven't seen it in 19 years. Am I telling a fib anywhere? Am I telling a lie anywhere? No? Then, oh well. I don't get it. I just really don't understand why this is a universal thing. Now, I understand the impact he's had on the Olympics, and you know, sometimes you get comments of people saying, I won't even touch that then. I won't even touch it. But my question remains, where is the impact that LeBron James has left on the league in terms of his basketball skills or lack thereof? I said it, and I mean every word of it. Where is the impact that LeBron James has left on the league, or lack of impact thereof? I haven't seen it in almost 19 years that he's been shoved down our throat and up our collective asses. I haven't seen it, and frankly, I don't think I'm gonna see it. I don't understand why this guy keeps getting worshipped. And to answer another question, and to talk about another, let's talk about another question. Concerning LeBron Ramon James, and I know I'm spending a lot of time with it after the beautiful Bronsexual confession that my partner delivered. Not only where is the impact, but where are all of the clutch moments in the postseason where LeBron is delivered? I know there's one series in the Eastern Conference. We saw, you know what? I retract that question. Clark Munroe just paged me and said he had a rough start to the morning. I am so sorry, buddy. And plus, like me, he also had a late night. So Clark will join me next week to talk some hockey. And believe me, there's a lot of hockey to be talked about as we speed skate toward the playoffs. I just don't understand. And like I said, I know I'm going to catch hell for this, but I don't care. I just don't understand what kind of impact LeBron has made on the league as a player on the floor. Off it, that's a different story. Has he made an impact on Has he made an impact off the floor? You better believe it. He has. And I give him kudos for that. But I judge by what people do on the floor. And frankly, to me, LeBron hasn't done much. Bull his way into the lane, draw a foul, hit one of two free throws. What the hell is that? What the hell is that? You know, like I said, I just don't get it. And I'll stop there. I will stop there. Coming up, Snowman's take on Kyler Murray. Good Lord, I'm about to throw up. Hey, Michigan, listen carefully. Need to get your insurance done and get it done right? Then all you have to do is give a call to Michael Scott Insurance at 810-985-3211. That's 810-985-3211. Follow him online at Michael Scott INS. Snowman's take about Kyler Murray is next in 4 minutes.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. As a volunteer, you deliver a hot, nutritious meal and a friendly hello to someone just like your mother, grandfather, or next-door neighbor. These seniors are inspiring people with incredible stories to share, and they love to see you. The smiles you get back are priceless. Delivering with Meals on Wheels is easy, and you don't have to drive like me for it to be quick. You can volunteer your lunch break once a week or just once a month. With 1 in 6 seniors facing hunger and many more living in isolation, your lunch break can make a real difference. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
What is dedication?
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is Dariana. We call him Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's attention, affection, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I think the advice I would give is you don't need to know all the answers. The craziest thing was believing that your dad knew everything. So as a dad, you felt like you had to know everything. You had to get everything right. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, then, it kind of starts to work itself out. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Everyone knows what kindergarten is, but have you heard of kindergarten and...
And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
We keep going here on this Wacky Wednesday edition as I await the return of my partner. He's in a meeting right now. But it's time for Snowman's Take. I forgot I used that theme. It's time for Snowman's Take, and this time it concerns one Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, what are you doing? Unfollowing everyone in Arizona. You were a high draft prospect in baseball, and my partner and I talked about it a lot. You know, the longest money you can make is in baseball. And because you had some failures in Arizona, and you don't like the situation in Arizona, that's been made abundantly clear. You unfollow everyone on Instagram or whatever social media it was that is associated with the Arizona Cardinals. And then that happened. It just it bothers me. It really bothers me that a fellow with that kind of talent in Kyler Murray experiences some hard times, and now he wants to play baseball. I'll go ahead and say it. He wants to play baseball. He's making it clear, because you saw a picture, for those of you that watch social media, of him in an Oakland A's jersey. Well, I got a question for you. Are you really ready to give up your football commitment and make that baseball commitment all the way? Because if you are, go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it, and then go ahead and do it. Tell the Arizona Cardinals, look, I don't have the mental capacity or the patience to be inside of a permanent rebuilding project. And why am I saying that about the Arizona Cardinals, even though they made the playoffs this past year? I don't believe they can do it again, even with Kyler Murray leading them. Even with Kyler Murray leading them, I don't think the Arizona Cardinals can repeat their playoff run. They got holes all over the place. All over the place. And to be a leader of a team that unfollows everyone on social media and not make that connection, and at least not try to make that not connection, but commitment to the next year, that should have started when y'all got blown out in Los Angeles. It should have pissed you off enough, Kyler Murray, that you say, you know what? I'm going to come back better. But no. You go to unfollowing everybody on social media like you're throwing a tantrum because you had some hard times in Arizona. Now, after your first year, you said, okay, I'm going to commit to this and I'm going to get better. Why aren't you doing that now? Why aren't you doing that now? Some of these players in these leagues, these young players, they come up on hard times and they want to quit. Now, in Kyler Murray's case, it could serve as an advantage because you play two sports. And the second one, baseball, could give you the longest money. But what worries me about all of that is, will he make the commitment? Will he make the commitment? to doing it? Will he actually make the commitment to playing baseball and earning that long money? And when I say long, I mean years and years and years of money. If you wanted to play baseball, Kyler Murray, why didn't you just do that instead of sending these cryptic social media messages where you have an Oakland Athletics uniform on? And as I said before, like a temper tantrum, you stomp all over the Arizona Cardinals. You stomp all over the Arizona Cardinals by unfollowing them on social. That's not a good look. At least not to me, that's a good look. I thought you wanted to play football. But now we're seeing that you were unsure when you got drafted. We're seeing it through your actions. We are seeing it through your actions. And what's even worse, should you go ahead and make the commitment to playing baseball, you put the Cardinals in a horrible position of needing a quarterback. And if I were the Arizona Cardinals, I'd go ahead and draft one. Why? Because you're clearly seeing Kyler Murray and his mindset right now of not wanting to make the commitment to a third year. You led your team to the playoffs. You showed how dynamic you can be. Yeah, you got holes in your offense and your defense, but if you're committed to the team, you go to everyone and say, all right, let's fix what we did wrong and come back stronger. I'm not seeing that from you, Kyler Murray. I'm not seeing that from you. I go back to the word that I have used over and over and over and over again. Commitment. I don't see it. I just do not see it. You know, and the strange thing is, I don't think we ever saw it from his play. Now, in the midst of the season, yeah, it's there. It's there. But I got to pose this question. Have we seen the commitment of Kyler Murray to get better and better and actually step into that role of being a leader? You're playing the most important position on offense, which is quarterback. And yet you're not acting like a leader of men. I put commitment and leader in the same sentence, but I take Kyler Murray out of that sentence. I'd love to be proven wrong about all of this. I would. I would love to be proven wrong about all of this. But as of right now, I'm not seeing that commitment. I'm not seeing it. And for that, Kyler Murray, it's your mess. As Mike Valenti said about his Detroit Lions, quote, it's your mess and it's your fault. Period. That's Snowman's take. What's yours? Now, a pause for another break. We already did that one, and this is the screen that I need. So while we get all that done, Scoop Miller will join me next with his top 5 for men's and women's basketball, and I got a question for him about one Juwan Howard. Back in a flash.
Everyone knows what kindergarten is, but have you heard of kindergarten and transitional kindergarten? Virtual learning where you use a morning meeting to do so? Well, if you look up Miss Delisha on YouTube with Morning Meeting with Miss Delisha, that is where you find it. Here, children can learn about their names, what their names start with, the letters, circles, everything that we learned in kindergarten growing up. The kids can do now and can do it with Miss Delisha. Just go to youtube.com and search Miss Delisha, and when you do, and you put your child involved in this, do me a favor. Tell them Snowman sent you.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And, with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Olivia from Washington. Laid off and trying to keep our little kids from realizing that mommy and daddy haven't eaten in a while.
Roger from California. I'm grateful we could afford our son's surgery. I'm nervous that now we can't really afford food.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Donna from Louisiana. The storm just hit, and we went from donating to the food bank to needing it.
Keisha from South Carolina. I've been skipping meals so my 2 kids can eat, but filling up on water doesn't really work.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Excuse me, I know you have a 9 o'clock, so I'll keep this short. I'm the business suit in the back of your closet. You wore me nearly every day before your office went, quote, casual. I used to be the CEO of your closet. Now I'm just that one intern no one ever talks to. I always thought you'd circle back with me, get granular, keep me in the pipeline. But nada, nothing. Don't you remember the McKittrick presentation? You spilled coffee on me and I still looked amazing during the breakout talkback Q&A. So, I think it's time for me to move on. I've got a great resume and I absolutely crush it in interviews, okay? Let's make this a clean break. Shift the paradigm. The only thing I ask is that you think outside the box here and do this. Take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff.
Are you kidding me? Did you not get the memo?
Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Can't wait. Oh, yeah.
Hour 2 of Snowman in the Morning is now. And let's get right to it. This is Hour 2 of Snowman in the Morning, presented by Michael Scott Insurance. I welcome my good buddy for college basketball and my good friend in life, Scoop Miller. He joins me right now. Good morning, sir. Glad to have you.
Oh, good morning, Snowman. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you, man?
Hey, fantastic. Appreciate the call.
Hey, all right. We got to talk about it. Did the Big Ten act accordingly in terms of the suspension for one Juwan Howard? Let me know your thoughts.
But I think they responded predictably. I think there's a kind of a double-edged sword. I think they're worried about a reaction and, the trickle-down effect sometimes. But honestly, well, I don't know. I just hate to see the day and age where we've got coaches that are instigating activity in the handshake line, and maybe a little harsh suspension in my for my 2 cents. But I really thought what they did was I thought was very predictable, and I certainly what I thought was coming.
Yeah, I hate seeing that.
Oh, I do too.
I hate seeing incidents like that. I mean, you just got your butt kicked in Wisconsin, okay? Wisconsin had the better day. Shake hands and move on. Coaching is supposed to be a part. You're supposed to be a part of a fraternity, and as I know, brothers and sisters, women coaches too, don't act like that.
Yeah, and again, we all know the competitive juices that go on with coaches. You know, I mean, that's just part of their day. But you have to be the bigger person, and you know, especially when you get it handed to you. You know, sometimes that has to be fuel for the fire. But that you just can't react the way that Juwan did, and it's unfortunate because you know, wow, he's you know, he's been an icon up there, obviously in Ann Arbor, just a household name in this neck of the woods. And any type of black eye like that for college basketball, it's just you just hate to see it, because athletics has done so much for so many young men and so many kids, and to see it kind of marred by an ugly incident that did not need to occur after a ball game is just a real tragedy.
It is a real tragedy, and I said I spoke about this on yesterday's show. You have a fellow who's supposed to be the leader of young men. You know, parents are putting their son or daughter in your care, and you lead them by acting like this? To me, that is totally unacceptable. Been around coaches for a long, long time, and I've never seen live an incident like this. You're putting kids in your care. You're having him teach them not only about being great ball players, but about being great young men and being active young men in the community. And then you put this kind of black eye not only on the University of Michigan, which is high profile because they play in the Big Ten, but in the Big Ten Conference and in the NCAA. And that's got to get the committee thinking, do we want this guy in our tournament? Could this happen again?
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, there's been some past incidents too that have bordered on that. You know, so it's just so unfortunate. And if you ask itself and you watch NBA commercials, you're going to see a lot of commercials on sportsmanship and about how few people go on to be pro athletes, but they're going to go on to be great citizens. You know, great doctors, you know, great people. And that's really what you're trying to build, you know, for 99% of it. So just a really ugly incident. And, boy, it just feels so bad for anybody involved. Like you said, it just gives everybody kind of that black eye, including the NCAA.
Yeah. And again, it gets the committee thinking, do we want this coach and this team in our tournament? And speaking of their tournament chances, let's just go to the X's and O's and be on the floor. Michigan's a mediocre team because you're looking up at Purdue, you're looking up at Wisconsin, which already handed it to you, and you're looking up at Illinois.
Yeah, you know, absolutely. And if you're the NCAA, if that's a bubble team, you know, I'm just going to be honest. There's no way they're going to get a look. You know, there's just no way they want to have to mess with that and deal with that, because you know, that would just not be a good fit there for the NCAA, and they know it.
Yeah, absolutely, they know it. And I'll say it again. You're looking up at Purdue, you're looking up at Wisconsin, and you're looking up at Illinois, the top three seeds, I feel, in the Big Ten tournament. And you just got your ass handed to you by one of those top three teams. It gets the conference. It gets the conference thinking, and most definitely gets the NCAA thinking. So what the NCAA is hoping for, that Michigan gets clothesline in the Big Ten tournament.
Oh, shit!
And they can turn around and say, you know what? There's our justification. They're not a good team, and they don't have a good coach.
Yeah, sure they are. That's exactly what they want to play out throughout this. So again, it's the timing and all. It's just very, very, precarious, and like I say, just not a good sight there for Michigan. And I was really hoping Michigan would handle it better than they did, honestly.
Yeah, I was hoping so too, especially after the game they played in Wisconsin. Staying in the Big Ten, top 3 teams, I'll mention them again in order: Purdue, Wisconsin, Illinois. Any surprise there? I don't think there's no surprise there with me with those top 3.
No, not a bit. Those teams are certainly all capable of making deep NCAA runs. They're tough matchups, and they also teams that have some depth. And how about the Illini? That big win there at Sparty last week.
Yes.
Monster shot by Frazier down the stretch. How clutch was that?
Man. Oh, I listened to Brian Barnhart's call, another good friend of mine, voice of the University of Illinois. It brought me there, and I was so excited when Illinois scored that win at Michigan State. And those top 3 teams are looking at a high seed in the NCAAs, with fans being in the stands, being able to travel. Man, please, those 3 are going to make some noise in the tournament.
Yeah, no question about it. And certainly for Illinois, you'd love to see them somehow end up in the Sweet 16.
Yes.
And possibly playing there at the United Center. So who knows what'll happen, but that could be interesting.
May see another 2005 run by Illinois, because remember, they played in Indy to start the tournament, and then they played at the Rosemont Horizon to win their regional. We'll see how that goes. On the women's side, they just keep rolling along, playing some absolutely wonderful basketball.
Boy, they really do. South Carolina, what can you say? They're 11-0, I think, this year, ranked opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've already clinched the top seed in the SEC tournament, and they just seem to just keep rolling. I think they've got 13 straight wins. They're perfect at home, and obviously, other than that 1-point loss at Missouri, that's one them from being undefeated. And what a run for Dawn Staley's squad this year.
Coach of the year in Dawn Staley? I think so.
Yeah, I think there's no question there. What a job she's done, and certainly they've just got so much talent. I love Zaya Cook there. She's from my neck of the woods here. Went to Toledo Rogers High School, and just another phenomenal player for the Gamecocks. But again, that's a team that they have to, after getting a tough out last year in the NCAA tournament there in the Final Four, that tough 1-point loss to eventual national champ Stanford, that's still got to be fresh in their minds.
Yes,
and they're thinking business right now, no question.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to the men's top 5, and at number 5, we start with the Duke Blue Devils.
Yeah, I think Duke's a team that just continues to get better here down the stretch.
And that's big. Duke, that's big with the ACC tournament looming.
Yeah, no doubt. I think they've won, 9 of their last 10. Their only loss in that span, I think, was a 1-point loss to Virginia. So they've been playing really well, coming off an impressive win against Florida State, I think, by nearly 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing about Duke, I think they have the best overall percentage in quad 1 games this year. I think they're 5-1 in quad 1 games, and certainly that's something the NCAA tournaments selection committee looks at heavily, obviously. So there's a team that just kind of keeps builds up steam. And, for the most of the year, they've kind of been under the radar. They had some issues early. They kind of fell in the rankings, but they've been right there. Another impressive season for Coach K.
Duke has been Duke, especially lately, and I can't wait to see the ACC tournament. At number 4, we go to the Big Ten, and we see the Purdue Boilermakers.
Yeah, Purdue, again, we talked about the Big Ten there a little bit, Snowman, and how good those upper echelon teams are. And certainly Matt Painter in his 17th season's got things going there. And West Lafayette, since stubbing their toe at Michigan a little while back, they've put together 3 nice wins. They had a nice win there in Evanston on the road there. Northwestern. And they also had a nice win against Rutgers. But there's another team that I think they're 7-3 in quad 1 games, and maybe 11-4, I think, in quad 1 and quad 2 games. So there's another team that's certainly going to get a heavy look there from the selection committee. They've also won 9 out of 10, with that only loss being that they really stubbed their toe there at Michigan there a week ago Sunday. But again, team that's the way they shoot the basketball, with the way they can rebound, certainly a tough out.
We go to the SEC for number 3. We find the Auburn Tigers.
Yeah, Auburn coming off a tough loss at Florida. That was a great ball game. I don't know if you got a chance to watch that one or not, but a tough loss at Florida. In fact, amazing thing is, Auburn has now won in Gainesville since 1996. I think they've lost 15 straight contests to the Gators, but that was a great battle this weekend. They came up short, but again, what can you say about the job Bruce Pearl's done? They're still 24-3 on the season, 14-0 at home, and the fact that they're 7-3 in quad 1 games, 13-3 in quad 1 and 2 games. That's a team that's certainly high aspirations of a top seed in the NCAA tournament.
Speaking of a top seed, we go to number 2. We go to the West Coast Conference and the Gonzaga Bulldogs.
Yeah, Gonzaga just continues to do things well. They've got a 16-game winning streak. And during that 16-game winning streak, every win is by double digits. I'm not sure that's going to help them down the stretch. You might be able to pull out those, grinding games last minute, but credit to the Bulldogs for going on that type of run. When you can pull 16 straight all by double digits, that says something. I think their last 3 wins, 2 of the 3 have been impressive. Beating St. Mary's by 16. St. Mary's a team that's won 22 games already, and then beating Santa Clara by 12, another team that's going to win 20 games. So those are impressive wins. They're 7-2 in quad 1 games. The slam on Gonzaga obviously is the fact that I think they have like 13 quad 3 games. I think they're 13-0 3 games, but sometimes that's inevitable, especially when you're in that West Coast Conference like they are, kind of stuck up there in the corner. But again, you can't argue success. This is the team that we're actually the first team since 1976 Indiana Hoosiers to reach the national championship game undefeated. There's not many that can do that where they were at last year. And of course they ran into buzzsaw and Baylor.
Yeah.
Baylor just seemed to have so many threes that night. But again, this is a team that's looking to get back to the Final Four. So certainly going to be hard not to give them a top seed, I think, when the tournament rolls around.
And the first time Gonzaga got to the Final Four, it was in this state where we go see number 1, and we bear down with the Arizona Wildcats.
Yeah, the Wildcats, a great year continues for Tommy Lloyd, 24-2, a perfect 15-0 at home, currently riding an 8-game win streak. And again, another team that's been impressive in quad 1 wins. I think they're 5-2 in quad 1, 11-2 in quad 1 and 2 wins. So this is a team that is certainly just playing well all season long. They've just really have not stubbed their toe at all, and I like them at both ends of the court. Snowman, they can fill it, and they can also get into you defensively. You have that combination. And you've got a chance to make some noise.
And they are the favorites in the Pac-12 conference to win it all. Let's go to the women's side. At number 5, here they come, the Yukon Huskies.
Yeah, there's a team that's just continue to get better, and they're also getting healthier and healthier here, I think, as the season unwinds. So this is the team you cannot look beyond. Anytime, of course, and you say that, and they've won 4 of the last 8 national championships. The fact that they've not won 4, people think, oh, no, what's wrong at UConn? But this is the team that certainly is capable of getting to the big dance and doing some damage. But, I think they've won 4 straight. They're 19-5. And, I think returning National Player of the Year, Paige Buchers, who's missed most of the season, I know she's been practicing, so how long before her to go, who knows, but dealt with concussion protocols and things, they're getting everybody back. So this team is just going to, continue to improve down the stretch, and nobody wants to see them in their side of the bracket when those pairings come out.
At number 4, we go to the ACC and we find the Louisville Cardinals.
Yeah, Jeff Waltz continues to get it done. They had a tough loss at North Carolina by 1 point the other night, which was a huge win, obviously, for the Tar Heels.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had a nice bounce-back win. They beat number 23 Virginia Tech, 70-56. And Virginia Tech's a team that's already won 20 games. So again, a nice bounce-back win after a tough loss. But again, 23-3. They've won 9 of their last 10. That only lost that 1-pointer, obviously, at North Carolina. But that's a team that one of the best defensive teams in the nation, and certainly a team that just got a lot of balance. They've got 3 people that really kind of carry the load that can be top scorers any night, and they can go deep in their bench. So this is a team that certainly has been knocking on the door, trying to get that elusive first national championship.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely the year that the Louisville Cardinals get done.
At number 3, we stay in the ACC and we play for K and find the North Carolina State Wolfpack.
Yeah, the North Carolina Wolfpack, there's a team that's really doing some great things. They just secured their first regular season ACC title in 32 years, so that's certainly got to be a big shot in the arm for Coach Wes Moore. The fact that they're 25-3, 15-2 at home, 6-game winning streak. They continue just to rack up some wins here, and another team that's had some impressive quad 1 wins. So that's a team that is picking up momentum at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the ACC tournament, I think, for the women is going to be a dandy as well.
Oh, it's going to be fun. At number 2, we find the defending champion Stanford Cardinal from the Pac-12.
Yeah, they just continue to roll 23-3. They've now won 15 straight games. They got a huge win at Oregon this week to secure their 25th Pac-12 regular season championship. So just what a stellar job Tara Vanderveer continues to do year in, year out. Again, that's a team that their last loss, I think, was at South Carolina way back when, before Christmas. So there's a team that's just playing some great basketball and certainly looks to have almost a lock, I think, on the number 1 seed here for the NCAA tournament.
And speaking of lock, we have Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks keeping a lock on that number 1 spot in Scoop Miller's top 5.
Yeah, what can you say about the job the Gamecocks have done this year? 25-1 on the season, 11-0 against ranked opponents. And again, just a lot of momentum headed into that SEC tournament. Again, one of the top scoring defenses in the nation. An exciting offense to watch, too. We mentioned, Cook already, but you got Boston, Destin Henderson. They've got some marquee players there that you just don't have answers for defensively. They can hurt you in so many ways, but that's a team that gets into you defensively, shoots the ball very well, so athletic, where they're just a nightmare matchup for anyone.
Man, that's the top 5 in men's and women's basketball for Scoop Miller. I am getting so geared up and excited for this year's NCAA tournament on both sides. I'm going to do 2 brackets, one for the men and one for the women, and those numbers may multiply. And Scoop, I'm going to get healthy enough, and I will say this aloud, one day I hope you and I cover a few games live together. I'd love nothing more than that.
Well, me too, my man. I certainly will look forward to that, and certainly looking forward to this tournament as well. I think it's going to be March Madness at its finest.
It certainly is. Scoop Miller joining me as he does every Wednesday to talk college basketball. We'll take y'all through March Madness on both sides, men and women, and take you all the way to the Final Four. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate the time.
Always a pleasure, Snowman.
Scoop Miller joining me here on the program, and thank you to him. I am so looking forward. I can't say it enough. I'm so looking forward to this year's NCAA tournament because we're getting back to normal. We're getting beyond the COVID protocols and everything, and I'm just so excited for the NCAAs this year as my partner rejoins me. Man, these NCAA tournaments, men and women, are going to be off the charts this year because they're going to be on location. We're going to have some crowds. We're going to just it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun again.
Traveling, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something LeBron James does often. I'm sorry, did I say that?
Oh.
I need to do that.
Shots fired.
I've been firing shots for 19 years about that dude. Let's just... Doesn't he travel a lot?
Yeah, he does. He does.
So,
how he gets away with it so often, I have no idea. But yes, he does.
3 and 4 steps in the post. Get out of here. That's not basketball. That's not basketball.
Fortunately, it seems to be best ball in this time in age.
So, before I welcome Patrick Voss, let's do this. A lot of people make LeBron James the face of the NBA, and I contend by saying this. The transition of the face of the NBA didn't go from Kobe to LeBron. It went from Kobe Bryant to Stephen Curry. I'm going to let that hang for a minute.
All right.
And I will say it again. Want shots fired? It didn't go from Kobe to LeBron. LeBron was never the face of the NBA. Kobe was. It went from MJ to Kobe and now to Stephen Curry. The only reason people didn't give it to Stephen Curry is because he had to deal with injuries. And everybody was so excited about Lob City, which turned into, I won't say it. But you want shots fired? Here's a big shot. Steph's been the face of the NBA while Kobe was there, while LeBron is there, and this babyface assassin has been all of that and then some. So why is he not identified as the face of the NBA? Why?
All right.
Here we go. Fire those shots.
All right. In terms of on the court matters. Curry, yes. He is the face of this league. He's the face of this generation because the game fundamentally changed by what he did.
Yep.
And there isn't a debate about that whatsoever. Now people want to be in their feelings and deny it and clown him for his stature, for his size, for the fact that he isn't their model of athleticism.
Right.
And that he isn't dark skinned. Yes, I will call it out and say it bluntly.
Hey, you can put his Splash Brother in that too. All right, you can put a Splash Brother in that too.
But and if you want proof, and for those out there who think that I'm just talking out the side of my neck, think about how the league looked in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And think about how the league looked, I'll dare say 2018.
Yeah.
The league vastly changed a lot, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And it was all due to one person. And I do mean one person, although, yes, I'll admit Clay had a lot to do with it too.
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, it was all due to one person simply because he is a two-time MVP. And what else, Stephen Curry II. extending the floor. And to this day, he's the only player you have to pick up when he crosses half court, because he's liable to shoot and even make 40% of those shots from there. So
50, 40, and 90.
In his
13th year, 50, 40, and 90.
And if you think that is scary to think that's for a career, that's what he does. And if you think that this doesn't involve LeBron James, and you're seeing LeBron James, all these records that he's about to break, and some he's already broken, and all these milestones that he's reached, that he is a revolutionary figure. No. Not on the court. He is not a revolutionary figure on the court. Because what's revolutionary about a guy who is 6'9", 260, and can just simply act as though he is a bull in a china shop?
We've seen
what
it
was
before.
revolutionary about that?
We've seen it before.
Yeah.
We've seen it before.
When people actually understood, okay, well, he's going to get his points because he's just an athletic marvel, but we will take our chances. We will take our chances with him shooting. Now, I will say this: his shooting percentage has gotten better over the course of time. But why was that the case?
He played longer.
Because he saw, he saw this number 30 clad in blue and mustard out in the Bay Area, getting the attention that I think he wanted to have in terms of having an all-around game, and seeing that this guy was influencing the game, and SportsCenter was leading off with him having 10 and 11 and 12 three-pointers in the game and making it routine, that Mr. James wanted to be a part of that too. So his game, which was virtually a nonstop rush to the basket,
changed,
and now it is straight up perimeter only. Maybe with a selective drive to the bucket here and there, but he settles for jump shots and 3-pointers a whole lot more often now than he did 10 years ago, than he even did, I would dare say, 7 years ago. So his game changed because of Curry. Curry's game hasn't changed. This has been his game. And for those who want to say, okay, well, just think of the last 30 years, who's been the most influential in changing the game, I'll give you 4. Jordan. Jordan. Because all you had to do is look at Ja Morant.
Yep.
I don't have to give you Kobe. I don't have to give you McGrady. I don't have to give you Vince Carter.
Nope.
I can give you Ja Morant. The guy is cut of the mold of a Michael Jordan. Now, am I saying he's as great as Jordan? No. I'm saying he's cut of the mold of him, basically being an athletic wing player who can do everything offensively that you ask him to do.
Well, you know they're not going to. You know they're not going to listen to that. You know they're not. You know they're not going to listen to that because Jordan's involved in the conversation. That's easy.
Right.
That's easy. All right, let's put a pin in it there.
All right.
And and welcome Patrick Voss of the Golden Knowledge Podcast. Good morning, Patrick. Great to have you.
Hey, Snowman, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How have you been?
Very, very good. I have a lot of things going right now. I mean, I have the podcast, talking sports, talking science, talking all different subjects. But, of course, today's a sports podcast, guest spot. I'm so glad to be here again, talking baseball.
Man, I love having you on the show. I'm going to have you on the show a lot more often, and we may as well do 2 things at once and kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because I had this subject lined up. Will Major League Baseball get it right so we can have a baseball season? So the White Sox can defend their Central Division title? Talk to me, Patrick, please.
I think that the MLB season will start late, but it will start.
Yeah.
I don't think that the lockout will last all season. It will not be a 1994 all over again where a season ends and no World Series. I don't think that will be the case. As of 2 days ago, MLB and the Players Union are meeting in Florida, and it looks like the Players Union is actually trying to ramp up their bonus pool proposal about $15 million from $100 million to $115.
Yeah.
And they've also proposed an 8-team lottery draft. So I'm wondering, these things, these demands that they keep making, do they think that this is good for the overall sense of the league itself, or is this just a little bit of greed, maybe from the Players Union? I'm not very sure. But when you asked about the White Sox defending their central title, I think the White Sox have no competition this year. If, in fact, the season gets off, they will run through the Central Division this year and probably win it by no less than about 8 to 10 games.
I say the same thing. Back-to-back Central Division titles, I'll take that. Because, hell, they were on their way to winning the Central Division title in 1994 before the lockout happened. And Cole, you've said this to me, and Patrick and I have talked about it. Even though last year the White Sox ran roughshod through the Central Division, yes, we lost to Houston in the postseason. Houston is a damn good hitting baseball team. Right. Patrick, why are people still sleeping on the Chicago White Sox?
I think they don't expect much from them. I mean, let's be honest. The Chicago White Sox haven't won it all since 2005. They have had seasons where they've looked promising, but I think a lot like the north side of the city, I think the South Siders and their fans may be a little downtrodden that they've been so promising and yet haven't delivered, and to their own expectations. And I think that, unfortunately, a lot of White Sox fans need to have their expectations lowered a little bit. And by that, I mean, stop thinking all or nothing mentality. Don't think every year that they show a little bit of promise it has to be World Series or bust, because that's also not what happened on the other side of town. It was not immediately World Series or bust, so just be careful with that as a White Sox fan. I would say also sleeping on. Now, there are other franchises or the franchise fans that are sleeping on the White Sox in the AL, thinking that they have no chance because they haven't delivered in past years and they only won it all recently in 2005. So I'm curious to see the way that this team is being managed is fantastic. And I think that the core, Luis Robert, you have Eloy Jimenez, you have Timmy Anderson and others. I think as a core, you really can't count out the White Sox. They have, if they stay healthy, and this is the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
If the White Sox stay healthy, they can beat, in my mind, they can beat any team in the MLB today. But if they have little nagging injuries, little something happening to your calf, or a little something happening to your ankle, or your thumb is messed up and you can't play a couple games, that could really change the tide of your season, of your record, and possibly of what you're going to do in the playoffs against a team like Houston, against a team maybe in the World Series like the LA Dodgers. You have that to worry about as well, because they're not going to be lacking, so you cannot be lacking as well.
Speaking of not lacking, I made my apology after 2020 when the Astros came within a whisper of wiping out a 3-0 deficit against Tampa Bay and getting back to the World Series. The Houston Astros are a professional hitting team, period. And people still want to bring up, they cheated. Did you watch them in the ALCS in 2020? A team that cheats doesn't wipe out a 3-game deficit and come within 4 or 5 innings of winning the American League again. And then a team that cheats under manager Dusty Baker, and I'm so happy for Dusty Baker, that doesn't get to the World Series in the fashion that they did. Period.
I think, here's the problem. I get why a lot of fans are have disdain towards the Houston Astros, right? You see that they cheated, and then they come out and say, well, listen, we're going to do it without supposedly cheating. But again, I just don't see how they have a right to, at least in my eyes, I don't see how any team that would do what they did has a right in any way to complain years later about people still not liking them, because again, they're not going to like you. You gave them a reason to absolutely hate you. Ask Barry Bonds how that feels years later.
Yeah.
Okay? So if you give people a reason to hate you, don't complain and moan about them hating you years later, because they're going to keep treating you as if they always have to have their eye on you now. And that's an unfortunate position they put themselves in.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's so true. It's so true with that. But at the same time, I look on the positive side, and that Houston Astros team is loaded and ready for bear. Speaking of loaded and ready for bear, the team that surprised almost everyone, the Atlanta Braves. They get geared up to defend their world championship, and boy, this young Braves team is fun to watch.
I was so happy. I was so happy to see the Braves get a World Series, and I also for Acuna Jr. To be hurt like he was, and to still have that ring is just validating for me. Even as a Chicago sports fan, I love that kid.
Yes.
So to see him and the young talent that is on the Atlanta Braves team, for them to go ahead and knock out a World Series win in the 2020s, that's great. Do it. Keep doing it. That's fine with me.
Yes,
I don't care if they're the team of the 2000s or 2020s. I don't care. Let them be. But for me, it's validating to see the team that had been wiped out here and there, little slips. They got so close, but yet so far away, and now they finally come back and say, listen, we're not going to take any more crap from people. We're also not going to be thought of as the second best or third best any longer. We have a right to be in the conversation for the best. Now hear us roar this season.
Yes, and I love it. I love when the Braves won in Houston. And Cole, you and I talked about it. I said that World Series would start in Texas and it would end in Texas. And the Braves took care, and the Braves took care of business. Go to the National League West. Are we going to see the same race down to the final game between the Dodgers and the Giants that we saw last year?
No, the Giants are gonna make easy work of the Dodgers this year.
I love it.
I don't think that we see a close race. I think that the Dodgers did a good job at buying wins.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But I don't think that that's consistently done. And if anything, Moneyball's proven that. But buying wins, I think, to me is not consistent enough. And I think that while you look at a Dodgers team who has been fantastic over a long stretch since, let's say, even 2016, when they lost to the Cubs in the NLCS on the Cubs' way to a World Series, but they still, from 2016 or even a year or two before that on to now, they have been a contender every single year.
Yep.
So it's okay that they're a contender, but last year proved something, that the Giants are on the way up.
Yes.
They're actually skyrocketing now, which this year I think not that they would do better record-wise than last year, but I do think that they have the consistent great season back-to-back, and I don't think that the Dodgers have that being let down so harshly in the way that they were. I don't think that they have another great, amazing season, and I think they fall behind at least 3 or 4 games in that division to San Fran at the end of the season.
Do you think the Giants overachieved last year, winning 100+, or was it like right on time for them?
I think it's right on time. I think that they took advantage of a good situation. You have a situation where, like, you want to talk about teams being slept on.
There you go.
The Giants team who nobody cared about. And I have a good friend out in California who is a diehard Giants fan, and he was counting them out, and yet they surprised everyone. So what I'm saying is it was right on time. It's kind of like the Cubs in 2015. Now that was a year early, obviously, a year earlier than they thought, but it was still a great season for that team. And I think that this last year for the Giants is right on time for them, not even a year early. I think that now they're going to be pushing, and now they've made their presence felt. They are going to push this year for World Series or bust. I think they have that on the brain.
Staying in the National League West, what the hell happened to San Diego? They were right there, and then they fell flat on their ass.
That is a classic story of a team who gets too full of themselves.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that they shouldn't have been when they got hot. I'm not saying they should not have been full of themselves. Right? I would have been egotistical on that team at that time.
Right.
But at the same time, you have to think there is 162 games in a season, so you have to pace yourself. There will be trials and tribulations, and they went through it hard. When they fell, I think this team is, unless they do something mentality-wise, they're going to do it again this year. They're going to start hot and fall again because every little losing streak for them seems to affect them mentally in a way that it's kind of like I'll put it like this. I watch teams. I watch fighters in the UFC. If they get hit with a certain hit, it seems to do one of two things to them. Either A, they bounce back and finish their opponent, or they kind of falter and you see them back away and they start to doubt themselves. The minute doubt creeps in, especially with these superstitious professional athletes, it's a hell of a thing to try to get rid of. So if they don't change that quick, San Diego will become and I'm not sure if you're familiar with the YouTuber Urinating Tree, but
I'm very familiar with him. I love him.
So San Diego is going to be the new locale of the MLB if they keep going. Yeah.
I love it. I'm very familiar with YouTuber Urinating Tree. I'm hoping to get him on the show one day, either here or with Snowman Unfiltered. I'm going to try to get with him and get him on and get him on the podcast, get him on the show here. One more division we'll look at really quick, and then Cole and I will close things out. It's the National League Central. There's Milwaukee, there's St. Louis, and then this.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the NL Central, obviously the Cubs are not a factor. The Cubs just are not doing anything to, and it's not even the players, right?
Right.
The front office staff, the front office itself is failing the fan base. That is what they are currently doing. And actually, this is why over the last couple of seasons, or the last season and a half, I've actually told my wife I am changing from a Cubs to a White Sox fan, and I've been a Cubs fan since the age of about 4 or 5. So it's a big change for me. But I see now that on the north side of the city, for some reason, they don't give a darn about their fans. They deliver one thing one time and say, hey, that should be enough for you. Now be quiet.
Right.
And, of course, the south side does not do that. They keep trying to get better and better. And, yes, they have bad seasons, but they keep trying to get better and better. And now you see Abreu and company getting to push for a World Series. So you also have, like you said, with the Cardinals and the Brewers, two enemies of the Cubs. I would say that the Brewers have a season where they say, I'm taking the NL Central. I think the Cardinals will put up a good fight. I just think the Cardinals will fall about a game or two short. I think it'll be a close race, right? Out of all divisions, I'm giving the NL Central the closest of those two teams.
Yes.
I'm giving it the closest race out of any division in baseball this year. But yeah, 1 or 2 games difference maybe at the end.
Right.
And the Cardinals may still get a wild card spot with the record trying to keep up with Milwaukee. But I think Milwaukee goes on a tear midsummer and does not let up until the 160 games, or now probably less games, will be in a shortened season, will be played this year.
Patrick Voss joining me talking Major League Baseball. Hey, this may become a weekly thing because I love having him on and I love talking about baseball. Patrick, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Snowman.
Patrick Voss joining me here on the program. And I got something special for a friend of mine who's going to be my initial guest on Snowman Unfiltered. We're going to tape that Friday morning, and then I'll drop it later. But I'm gonna finish with this. There are so many mornings, and I can honestly say there are so many mornings where I don't want to get out of bed, come in front of this microphone, and do this show. And I can think of several hundred reasons why. But I always get that one reason to push me to do it. As I've said on this show many times, I deal with mental illness. I deal with anxiety. And I deal with depression. And the 2 points where I can identify where the depression started, I lost my dad in 2007, and I lost my daughter in 2015, twice. It took an incident in Michigan City where I verbally snapped when someone said, I know you've hit rock bottom. To that same person, you have no idea what rock bottom is. Even though they were right, in that case, I was beyond rock bottom. I fell through it. For a certain athlete to use mental illness as a reason not to play basketball, and then it turns out he didn't have a mental illness problem anyway, F you, okay? That goes so much against the people that actually deal with mental illness, that deal with depression. I remember Shamiqua Holdsclaw, played at Tennessee, played in the WNBA, went through depression like crazy. And in following her career, I didn't understand depression at the time. I just know I missed watching Shamiqua Holdsclaw play. And then as it turns out, she went through a major battle with depression. I didn't know how to tackle it. I didn't know how to deal with it. But I'm going to say this, and Cole will agree with me. Men have been socialized and taught for years just to keep their emotions down. Suck it up and keep going. What's the popular phrase? Man up and keep going.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of men who will not reveal it suffer more depression than anyone else in this world. Not just this country, but this world. Because society told them you can't show your emotions. Because society told them you can't be in touch with your feminine side. Because society has taught them, unfortunately, it has taught them that's not what a man is. Well, I'll tell you something. You know what a man is? A man is when he discovers his truth, when he discovers his own path and decides to walk in it and gives the finger to everyone who tries to stop him. That's Cole, and that's myself. Now, Cole is not going through mental illness problems or depression or anything else, but Cole is one of the men that supports me when I talk about this on the show. And I'm not afraid to talk about it anymore. Was I afraid to at first? Damn right. Damn right. I was afraid to talk about this. But now, since I've been walking in my truth, and Stacy, that's for you. Since I've been walking into my truth and climbing this mountain, it has taught me a lot of things. It has taught me that society's rules against men are foolish, period. I'm hoping and praying that more men who suffer from depression, who actually suffer from depression, anxiety, and mental illness, come out and talk about it. One of my good friends, Rod Peterson, same thing. You know, he told me on a phone call that he suffers through it. He had me crying because I now can identify with some men that go through it. You know, what have I always been told? God brings you to it so he can bring you through it. That's damn true. That's damn true.
100.
But if you don't talk about it, you won't get to it. And if you don't talk about it, you won't certainly get through it. I kept running into a wall, wondering why am I crying? What am I crying about? I have been teased for years, since I was a child. Oh, men don't cry. Bullshit. The greatest man I saw cry was my father. When he knew what was happening to him. I'll say it again, and I'll say it proudly. The greatest man that I saw cry was not an athlete. He was my father.
Ditto for me.
That's why I have days where I think of my dad and I burst into tears. That's why I have nights when I'm working late and I feel the depression coming on, that I shut everything down. I crawl into bed next to my wife and I let loose. The tears just flow. Can I explain why most of the time lately? No. I just know it happens and I get the tears out. My wife wraps her arms around me and keeps telling me it's okay. It's going to be okay. Because I got to tell you, some days I wonder if it's going to be okay. Some days I wonder if I'm doing all this in vain. I can answer that. Hell no, I'm not doing this in vain. Cole and I are doing this our way. When I picked Cole to be my partner on this show, I know I made the right choice. He has been so supportive of this project since the day we met. And I'm definitely supportive of his project. I'm definitely supportive of Cole Sports. I'm definitely supportive of Comey Media. I've seen men cry. I've seen men close to me cry. I walked up and I gave him a big hug. Oh, wait, men aren't supposed to do that. Oh, yeah, I do it anyway. So what? I do it anyway. I have cared for entirely too bleeping long about what society thinks and about what people think. And in an edited sentence, I can honestly say that 4 years ago, after I met Jody, I officially ran out of to give for society. And those of you who follow me on social media, you have seen Jody. When we were in North Carolina, we went through it. I didn't think that the prejudice would be that strong. Boy, was I wrong. I was dead wrong. But as I said, when I met her and got her vibe, I simply ran out of fucks to give to anybody. I joke all the time on this show when we do Bronsexual Confessions, or I talk about a certain player, or I talk about a certain team. I often joke to Cole, and it's now become a true sentence. I'm going to turn 50 this year. I don't care. I don't care about what people think or say about me, about my wife, and about my family. We're going to do our thing. Cole is going to do his thing with his family. And this empire is coming together whether y'all like it or not. Period. It has been a fight and a half for me with depression and anxiety. A fight and a half. But I'm going to win this if it takes every part of me. Let me say that again. I'm going to win this motherfucker if it takes every part of me. I'm going to beat cancer. I'm going to beat type 2 diabetes. Not manage it. I'm going to kick it in the ass. I'm going to kick cancer in the ass. I'm going to kick depression and mental illness and anxiety square in the ass. The challenge has been set before me, and I know that. But I'm walking into my light, and I'm walking into my truth. And for those of you who don't like it, fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Period. I'm sick and tired of seeing men get the shaft when it comes to mental illness. I'm sick and tired of seeing people play around with mental illness. When you're truly going through it and dealing with it, the first thing you feel, and I want to educate some people that think they know about depression, anxiety, and mental illness. You don't know a damn thing. Because the first thing you feel when you are going through all three of those things is alone. You don't think anybody is with you. You don't think anybody is for you. You don't think anybody will come and rescue you. And at the time you feel alone, you need somebody. That's the first thing you feel when you're dealing with, with mental illness, anxiety, and depression all at the same time. The first thing you feel is alone. And I felt alone. I was walking in a fog for 2 years. And then the person who would become my wife rescued me.